talk about going from 0, right there, from 0 to MREA. And this particular presentation was done at Family Reunion by Meg today. If you don't know who Meg is, she's in Chicago, Illinois. Her email address is meg@megchicago.com. Write it down because if you need anybody up in Chicago, she is your point. She's awesome up there. All right, so let's see. Can I advance it from here, Doris? Or you're gonna cover it? You're gonna cover it? All right, so next slide. I've got some of these transitions going one piece of information at a time, so we'll kind of work through this. What does MREA mean? MREA. What does it mean? Okay, millionaire real estate agent. What else could it mean? Or do you have to earn $1 million to live, feel, and act like a millionaire real estate agent?
It's also a structured business, like somebody who's treating their business like a business.
Wonderful, structured business. Excellent. So Doris, if you don't mind, we got a mouthful. It's perfect time to change the slide. All right, and this is where, click it a couple times here, we got a couple things coming up. All right, good. So what we're going to cover today, case studies, finding your ideal client. And if you don't know who your ideal client is, you're going to know by the end of today. Okay. Going small to go big. What do I mean by that?
Working on the details, working on the small details, systematic. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. So if you're out fishing and you want to catch a snook, you have to have the right bait, right? You can throw a monster cast net in the wrong place and you're never going to get a snook. Okay, so the whole point here is to focus really, really small on what you want your business to be and who you want to work with. And then your business naturally and organically explodes. So we're going to talk about how to strategically connect with the very people you want to do business with. We're going to talk about how to go deep. Eric.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next, and oh, there you go. And how to be consistent. All right, Eric, next slide, please. Richard, if you don't mind, go ahead and
You want the absolute best chance of succeeding at anything, your approach should always be the same, go small.
excellent. That's from Gary and Jay in both MREA and Shift. All right. Eric. So Meg today, she's the one who came up with this concept of 0 to MREA. She was a sole agent before she joined the real estate profession. She was in, before she joined the real estate profession, she was in the legal business and joined as a sole agent. She did 30 units in 2019. Guess what? She's sitting down at Family Reunion in 2020, 6 weeks into the year, with no listings, no pendings, no closings, no buyers under contract. How would you feel if you're at that point in the year and you have nothing on the books?
Not very good.
Not very good. It's kind of stressful, maybe. You go from 30 units to hitting a brick wall, right? So we had a reality check here. Doris, next slide, please. Go ahead.
Instead of trying to reach everyone, we should seek to reach the smallest viable audience, delight them so thoughtfully that fully that they help others.
Excellent. Who knows who Simon Sinek is? Okay. Guy's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well worth listening to. He tells us right here, smallest viable audience. Doris, next slide, please. So Meg, click once. She found and focused specifically on her USP. Now, interesting, her unique selling proposition was she found out that she liked to work with home buyers that worked in technology, in the consulting business, type A personalities, and female. That is her market. Next button, hers. Where was she at Family Reunion? in 2020? Who remembers how much business she had at family reunion 2020? Big goose egg, right? What did she do for the year in 2020? She went from 0 to 40 units as a solo agent, #1 agent in the Chicago region. Go to next. What happens if you continue it?
2020, just repeat that.
This is 2020. Now, remember, Chicago's not Florida, guys. You couldn't leave your house in Chicago during the pandemic. Trust me, I got family up there. It's crazy hearing the stories. Yeah, you get it, right? Nothing was happening. You wanted a Lou Malnati's pizza, you were gonna order it, have it shipped to Florida, and then cook it yourself, because you weren't gonna go to Malnati's to get a pizza. All right? What happened in 2021? 50 units. 30, 40, 50, that's pretty consistent, isn't it? The big story here is she went from 0 in February to 40 units that year. Go ahead, George. The minimum number, remember Simon Sinek says the minimum number of people you need to achieve your goal. Focus, laser focus. How many people did Meg need to find in order for her to be able to reach her goals? 30. So when you sit back and you say, I want to buy all these ads and do all these big Facebook promotions and yada, 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 you see, big wide net, and all of a sudden you get 2,000 people that clicked on a button. What do you do with 2,000 people? Is 30 a little easier to manage? And 50 transactions in Naples would probably get you off of macaroni and cheese and hot dogs, right? Next slide, girl.
Car.
Exactly. So what's the first step in this? Is to go small. Now we're gonna go through some exercises here, and I'm gonna show you 4 real-life examples of agents who are doing each one of these things and how it affects their business. George, next slide, please. Kathy Heidi. Kathy is from Miami Lakes. She did $921,000 in 2021 in GCI, 7th year in the business. What do you find interesting about this? About the information on the screen, about the picture you see? What do you guys see up there? What's that?
Dog lover.
Dog lover.
Focus on what she loves. So her lead generation is focused on things she likes.
She did this going to the dog park. Going to the dog park, guys. Interesting thing. She says she starts going to the dog park, dog lover, obviously. And she's sitting down and she's talking with the owners. You know what she's doing? She's writing down the dog's name in her phone and then attaching the owner to the dog's name. Finding out the things that the dogs like to do, what they don't like to do, who they get along with, who they don't get along with. They created an entire plan just for her dog people. Why? Because it's fun for her. That's the whole point of this entire conversation today, is what we do can be really fun, really exciting, if you zero in on what you love to do. So George, next one. We're gonna do an activity. All right? Think back through your eons and eons or days and days of experience in real estate, however long you've been in it. Think about your favorite client. I want you to think long and hard about this, because we're going to ask some very detailed questions, and I want you to write them down so you've got them for reference, okay? Who was your favorite client, and why? What made them your favorite client? Jordan, do you have a favorite client, Mike? Oh, what made them your favorite client?
Jeez, I do. I have many favorite clients. One I'm thinking of right now is one from this past year, Gavin. So Gavin's referred me 3 or 4 deals between himself and family members. And I think with Gavin, one of my favorite things about him is that I could just have a real, he expects me to have a real conversation with them. Now I'm using the lingos with him, like,
Sounds like a good relationship.
like he trusts my advice, he takes my advice even when it's against what he wants in that moment in time. And there's just a trust factor that he's truly become a great fan for me, and we've got our families connect as well, so we have similar interests from that perspective as well, so that's why he's one of my favorites.
Excellent. So you wrote down the name of your favorite client. Now it's quiz time for your favorite client. Are they married? Next line. Yes, they're married, yes or no?
Gavin used to be, he's been with his girl for too long.
Okay, and this is exactly why database is so important. You know, being completely honest here, I was at Fold yesterday, and we had to call the Bs. So the first B I called reignited a buyer that I hadn't talked to in a few years, which is great. Second B I called was a client that moved back from Massachusetts, and I had learned that her husband had just passed away. So I would have liked to have known that when it happened, not months and months and months afterwards. So keeping the connection is so important. So back to your favorite client. What do they do, or what did they do when they're retired? How much did they make? You may or may not know the answers to these, but each question is very important. How did you guys first meet? What did they buy or sell? What was the first transaction? Where do they shop? You may or may not know it. You're gonna start seeing a pattern here. What do they value? We talk about our values at Keller Williams all the time. What does your best individual client value? What do they do for fun? They get up in the morning and say, screw it, I'm not going to work. This is what I'm going to do. What do they do for fun? Get a little deeper. What's their biggest struggle? Why do you think we want to know that? George is on to something. I can see his head.
What is the bigger struggle? I mean, what it makes me think about, not so much what the struggle is like what's happening in their life and how can you bring that up to that? And
Okay.
I do outside of this, is the way I took it.
Yeah, excellent. You might be able to bring some value to them outside real estate, right? Gary and Jay teach us all the time. This comes from Tony Robbins. You are the average of 5 closest people in your life. We're doing a biography about your favorite client. They're your favorite client for a reason. You probably want more of them. You got along great with them. They do business with you. They like you. They trust you. Do you think that their struggles might be the same struggles that their inner sphere has? What if you could find a niche by digging into your best client's struggle? What would that look like? And this isn't being, hey, I'm the expert at Barrington Cove, which is where I live. I'm not the expert there. It's not about being an expert in a neighborhood. That's not what Adrian said. I know, listen, Adrian said he's an expert at. Adrian's the expert. And it depends who you talk to. It could be Julie, it could be Kelly. So it's not about being an expert in maybe a particular area. Find something that your best client struggles with, and I guarantee you their inner circle has the same type of struggle. Solve that, you have just opened up a huge, huge box. And the last question, what did you like best about working with them? Chances are, what you liked best about working with them is what you will like best about working with others like that. What would it look like for your business if you could find and market just that group? Like maybe 30 people, right? Next slide, please. So the next step is you're going to connect strategically. Next, please. So Mark Rantis, also from Chicago area. Mark does about 330, 340,000 a year. Very interesting niche. In 2008, Mark's father fell ill. And he had to transition his father from his home into assisted/independent living. And guess what he found when he was doing that? He found a niche, he found a need. He found glaring holes that people just don't know how to transition their parents from one phase of life to the next. So who here has kids, right? If you've got kids, you know how to transition them from being a 7-year-old to a 10-year-old to a 15-year-old to 20, you know what, we've done that. You and I haven't transitioned from 80 years old, now going a different direction. So we don't know how to do that. Mark found a great niche in this. So what did he do? He created a business-to-business networking. Now with the business-to-business networking, a couple things he found. First of all, he only went to people that service the people that are now transitioning from one phase of life to another. That's the only ones that he invited into this network. Second thing, business groups. They're done at 5 o'clock. How'd you like to have a networking group that you went to and you didn't have to go at 7 o'clock at night? You could be home with your family, with your friends, what have you. He's consistent, and the consistency got him into all of the associations, all the assisted living homes, all the people that are connected with that niche as the expert to present to that niche, to teach people how to do that. More than half of this business now comes just from teaching people how to transition from one phase of life to the next. So how can you create a focus group? Go ahead, George, next slide. I think next slide. Okay, good. How can you strategically connect? Here's where you guys get to shout a few things out. Think about something you're passionate about. How and where can you connect with people just like you? I'm gonna write a few things on the board. Start shouting. What do you like to do?
Voting.
Voting, okay?
Baseball.
Baseball, awesome.
Exercise.
Exercise. Golf. Side note on golf, that's $200 a day I will never spend because I just get so aggravated at the game. I would rather go rent a boat and not catch a fish. Because at least I'm having fun not catching a fish. So anyway, baseball, boating, exercise, golf. What else do we have?
Beach. Love to be in the beach.
What's that?
Love to be in the beach.
Beach, okay?
Playing cards, like cribbage.
I didn't work right here either, sorry.
Cribbage or card game.
Card games, awesome. Love it. Card clubs, right?
There you go. Thank you.
And yes, for those that wasn't picking on Richard talking quiet, I wear hearing aids. I don't have them today. My apologies. I do appreciate you speaking up a little bit for me. Thank you. How about this? How many went to college? Okay. What about alumni? I think I spelled that right. Anyone go to church? All right. Anyone been divorced?
How many times?
We have an expert.
I'm the expert, yes.
Think of this, okay? If you've been divorced, you understand the process and how difficult it can be. If you've been divorced more than once, you've got a lot of experience in that. How many home sellers that are going through a divorce don't understand what it looks like, and they don't understand that you can sell your house and save your credit if you do everything correctly. That's kind of a neat area. Estate sales. Do you think we have estate sales in Southwest Florida? Who do you need to connect with to get involved and help manage estate sales? Anyone have kids in school? I do. Schools. Sponsoring school events. First-time buyers. Probably one of the most scared groups of people out there, especially in today's market. So how can you find first-time buyers and reassure them that buying a home is much better than renting? That's fine. Historic homes. Yes, we have historic homes in Southwest Florida. There are homes down here built in 1920s that have survived every single hurricane, and guess what? They're built out of wood. Historic homes is another interesting niche. Charities. Maybe you've got a specific, very deep heart for one particular charity in town or a couple of them. It's another great way for you to really dig in with people that are like-minded and create a point where you are the expert in real estate and that charity. Sustainability, next person we're going to talk about, loves sustainability. Former teacher, art teacher, and farmer. Wait till you see what she's done. So we just covered the who. How about the how? How can you meet this and everything else we talked about? Where are they? Where do they meet? Where are you going to find them? This is participatory. Dump it on me.
Social media groups.
What's that?
Social media groups.
Okay. So social media groups is a great place to find them. Let me ask you this. If you had a choice of meeting somebody on social media or face-to-face, what would you rather do?
Face to face.
Okay. So where are you going to find people? Let's go with baseball. Let's say you're what's the team from Cleveland now? I can't call them the Indians because they're not the Indians anymore.
What?
We'll call them the Cleveland Indians. They changed their name.
Oh.
So let's say you're a Milwaukee Brewers fan, and you want to watch a Milwaukee Brewers game down here in Southwest Florida, and you want to watch it with other Milwaukee Brewers fans. What are you going to do?
Go to the bar,
Which one?
the one that is.
Thank you. The one that is where the Brewers fan club hangs out. The chances are they're going to have beer.
Oh,
The name like Brewers. Fine. Who's your favorite team? Because I'm a New England guy, so I mean, Foxborough is absolutely the place for me to go. If you're passionate about sports, find your favorite team and go hang out with the people that you want to hang out with. It's really easy, and you're having fun. And then you can start having remember when conversations. You know, remember when Roger Clemens struck out 20 for the first time? I was sitting in the first row center field bleachers when it happened. It was pouring rain. A bunch of us from McDonald's, I was working at McDonald's at the time. We're at the game, probably 15 or 20 of us. And this is when bleacher seats were $4. I remember those days. I don't know how many of you can actually remember going. You remember those days. You probably remember those days. The rest of you like $4 bleacher seats. There's no way. And yeah, so there were a whole bunch of us from McDonald's. It was in April, and we were just there on a work field trip, if you will. And Clemens goes and sets the record. So how cool would it be if you're sitting down and get to tell that story with people with the same passion that you have? Who's that exercise? You did, right? What kind of exercises are out there? If you were to exercise, what would you want to do? Okay, so we've got gym. Yoga. Awesome. Yoga doesn't have more than 30 people in the class typically, right? Okay. What else is there? Has anyone been to see Jim Brewer lately at the comedy club? It's hysterical, and he talks about one thing the entire time. Pickleball. I don't know, it sounds like he doesn't need the microphone for it. Pickleball. Pickleball's monstrous. Do you like to play pickleball? Go hang out with pickleball players. You like roller hockey? Join a hockey league. You can do an ice hockey league too if you want. Just watch out for that. All right, next slide, please, there. So the next step is going deep, and this is where we're going to talk about Brian. Brian, whose last name I can't pronounce. I did not ask her how to pronounce it. I probably should have. I believe it's Rizda. She's licensed in 2014. What did she do last year? So somebody say that number.
1.2 million.
Let's get exact.
1,242,154.
$1,242,154 in GCI. How did she do it?
In Concord, New Hampshire.
In Concord, New Hampshire. Who knows what real estate prices are? You know Concord, New Hampshire, right? Is Concord, New Hampshire, Naples when it comes to pricing?
Not even close.
Not even close. It's maybe, the average price up there is probably a tenth of what it is down here. So how did Ryan do 35 million in sales in Concord, New Hampshire? Guess what? She loves farming, sustainability, nature, being involved with the community, and everything she does is attached to how can I make my neighborhood a better, cleaner place to live? Because that's why she gets up in the morning. She doesn't get up in the morning to sell a house. She gets up in the morning to make her world a better place. And she just happens to use real estate to tell people about it. Next slide, please. How can you establish yourself as an expert? First of all, let's back up. By a show of hands, who feels they are not an expert? Okay? You guys went to a lot more school than every other buyer and seller out there. So you're an expert in something, okay? Richard, if you got called up to speak to a group on any topic at all, you said, here's a microphone, go up and talk. What are you gonna talk about?
Well, it's been there for a bit. Oh,
No,
I'm just saying, you
you can pick any topic. Here's a microphone, any topic. What are you talking about? You know this better than anyone. You know you do. What is it?
game of the NHL.
Okay, so Richard's gonna talk about hockey. He's gonna talk about what it takes to become a professional hockey player, the different roles that hockey players have, what it looks like to fit into a team, and all of that. So do you think there might be a niche for Richard in hockey or professional sports here in Southwest Florida? Yes.
Yes.
We're interactive here, yes. You handed a microphone. What can you talk about? Wine. Awesome. You're gonna have a lot of friends. Okay, you can talk about wine now, specifically. Now, wine is a very broad subject. You can either talk about regions of the world, you can talk about reds versus whites, you can talk about sweets versus dries, you can talk about price. Where are you most comfortable?
Pairings,
What's that?
wine food pairings.
Wine food pairings, awesome. So, who do you need to know on the food side? A chef. How cool would it be if you were a chef, just did a little private event for 5 or 10 people, and they had to bring 5 or 10 people with them. Each one had to bring somebody. This is free, but you gotta bring somebody that I don't know, who's just like you. And you do it on an off night at the restaurant. The chef does everything there. All right, what's it gonna cost? You know what the beauty of it is? I guarantee you, everybody would pay their way. It's gonna cost $40, that covers the cost of the food and the wine. Let's do this, let's just have fun. Would you enjoy that? You're getting some action items here, okay? I love that. Next slide. Be consistent. The next person, who's the last person we're gonna talk about today, Jenny Hill. I call her I kind of dubbed her as the queen of consistency. She doesn't know that yet. This is recorded, so it might get out there now. Jenny started in 2018, is doing $500,000 in GCI. Here's the interesting thing about Jenny. She decided to do a Geo Farming, door knocking, sending mailers, holding specific events like we just discussed. Now, who thinks door knocking doesn't work in Naples? You guys just got like a $6 million listing knocking on somebody's door. No, but your team did, right? $6 million listing for knocking on a door? That was like the best 37 seconds of their life ever. because that's a pretty good ROI, isn't
It
it?
was a long process too, consistent follow-up.
It's a long process, but it is a very large commission check that honestly, most agents won't make that an entire career. This is one deal. Just from, hi, I really don't know what to say, but I'm a real estate agent. I was just wondering if you thought of it. What's my house worth? Why don't we put it on the market and find out? Okay. Here's the process, here's what we do, we're gonna stage it, we're gonna make all the place more pretty, and now all of a sudden your house is worth $6 million, and you probably paid $300,000 or $400,000 for it 30 years ago, and jumping up and down for joy. So we kind of have to get out of our own way when it comes to some of these things, right? So consistency. The door knocking, she brought back something in the neighborhood that she decided to Geo Farm, she moved in there. And there was an individual who had all the marketing. Now, with Sheila Gardner was in here and said, use her as an example too. Because Sheila moved into a neighborhood and one agent in 70% of the deals, Sheila now does 70% of the deals in that neighborhood. From doing the same thing. Sitting at the pool, she likes to go to the pool, not the beach.
Either or.
Okay, she's sitting at the pool, just chatting with people. Maybe pouring them a margarita in the cooler that she brings, you know? Just being social. So what Jenny did is she reinvigorated Ladies' Night. Third Thursday of the month. And it's just for the ladies to get together. Have a glass of wine, cosmopolitan, old Milwaukee craft, whatever it is that they're looking for, okay? And they just socialize. They talk about what's going on with their family, with their friends at work, and invariably real estate conversation comes up. It got going so strong that Jenny now offers extra things at these events. Small cover charge to cover the cost. The husband's kind of got upset. Why don't we have one? So now she does one for the guys too. Do you think operating this business in any one of these four ways can bring a little less stress and a little more peace to your life? Next slide, please. 90, don't hit anything else. 96 touch campaign. Oh my God. How am I going to reach out to somebody 96 times in 1 year? This is what she does. It's so simple. It's mostly automated. This is a start. Quarterly newsletter. How many times is that a year?
4.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome, I'm good at math, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you're good at math and I'm glad you participate. That's why quarterly newsletter. 4 times a year. You can have it ghostwritten or you can spend an hour and a half a quarter creating a newsletter. You send it out. Monthly postcard. She sends these out 10 times a year. If she sends them out 12, it will be a 98 touch campaign. 10 postcards a year. And it's a simple postcard. It's not, hey, come sell your house. Come buy a house. It's just, hey, this is what's going on. Don't forget to change the clocks. This is Jenny, yada, yada, yada. She starts getting into the details though with her emails. Emails will include things like market reports, buyer needs. Hey, you know what? There's no listings. I've got a buyer, Susie and John Smith. They're looking for this. Who do you know? How many people don't want, in a market like this, don't want 50 or 100 people going through our house having to deal with 37 offers? Do you think a seller might appreciate, hey, I can sell my house real quiet like and not have to go through what's happening right now? Do you think sellers might appreciate that? That has been huge. And she turns it into client stories. Guess how the Smiths just bought the new home. This is what happened now, I'm living there, and oh, by the way, the Joneses had to relocate and put them there. So she turns into personalized stories. She doesn't do things like, I know you're seeing all the memes going around now. I am a realtor. I'm so thankful for my $10 million listing and my $35 million in sales this month and my new Maserati. I'm blessed. Thank you all. that has nothing to do with it. And yeah, I say that because that is a huge pet peeve of mine, because it doesn't bring any value to anybody. When you're sending something out, it has to have value. If you were in the sales meeting earlier, Reminder Media talked about that. By the way, Reminder Media could be your quarterly newsletter. You just send it out 4 times a year. $4 a copy, takes everything off your plate, but it's done. And has shelf life, right? Now, if I add this up correctly, that's 52, 62, 70 touches. Next bucket. Now, we put a lot of meat on the bone. 5 events, and guess what? Ladies' nights can be an event. 5 events per year. Each time she does an event, there is a touch point. Right up there, 4 weeks prior, email, Facebook post, whatever, combination, save the date. 3 weeks prior, you're gonna get an invite through text message. 2.5 weeks prior, you're gonna get an invite in your email. 24 hours beforehand, a reminder text. How many phone calls has she made so far? None. This is automated. This is simple. The phone calls come afterwards, 48 hours. Hey, it was great to see you. Thanks for coming. It was great to catch up. Or, oh, man, I'm sorry you couldn't make it. Sorry we missed you. This is our next event. Then 10 days after, you send out a photo album. What do you think is important about sending out the photo album?
Memories, people love that.
Memories? How about FOMO? Fear of missing out. Oh my God, I didn't go to this. I can't miss the next one. It looks like so much fun. Right? FOMO is a big part of it. So what sort of events, and I'll speak to this a little bit from our experiences. We do 5 events every year. Our team does. What sort of events can you do that you don't have to have 500 pies to give away? An event can be 5 people. What kind of events? Let's brainstorm for a second that you would like to do, like wine and food pairings. All right. What else?
I was gonna do a golf appreciation tournament for my past customers this year.
A golf.
Appreciation tournament.
Okay. Golf tournament for past clients. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And I'm not going to make any assumptions.
Yes,
My thought on this would be, hey, you organize the tournament.
yes,
Past client, bring a friend,
yes.
already negotiated a price, here's the price per person who wants to play.
Well, I was gonna cover the charge because it's not that much, because I don't do golf.
Okay, so that's leverage. Not everybody has leverage.
Right.
Not everyone has that kind of
I
leverage.
have leverage.
Well, my leverage is a wife who's a professional trainer, so she did the PowerPoint, so it looks good. I'm colorblind. You don't want me touching this. Okay, so your leverage, awesome. Great, so that brings your cost down. What if you wanted to do this and you didn't have that kind of leverage? Do you think if you're gonna organize something for 10 foursomes, that people would say, you know, yeah, I'll pay to play that. It's a round of golf, lunch is included, there's a free beer or whatever. They love golf. They already love golf. They're just looking for an excuse to play, maybe even to play with somebody that they don't know yet. So you take 2 of your best clients and 2 of their friends, and you pair them together. And guess what they have? They have stories about you that they share with the people who don't know you. So be careful. I see that look in your face. Be careful how you share those stories. What else can you do?
Bring in 3 basketball tournaments.
All right, basketball tournaments. 3-on-3 basketball. How about organizing the trip to the local pub wherever your favorite team is playing? What about, and we just went through this, what about a Final Four college tournament bracket just for your clients? Was thinking of you. I'm doing this, it's a 50-50. Half of the money is going to go to the winner, and the other half is going to go to this charity.
Yeah, Jordan, this is like a Halloween coloring book contest.
Wonderful. Halloween coloring book contest. That's awesome. You know, we do pies at Thanksgiving. We do breakfast with Santa. We do an Easter egg hunt. We do shredding, paper shredding every year. And we have tickets to Barbecue Man, and we give away front row, like, here's a stage, here's a seat, my elbows are on stage, front row seats to every show. That's, now Denny's been in business for 40 years, so being purposeful about building it to that point allows him to be able to do that. So you can start small with pies. You go to Costco, they're $8 each. Call up your client, say, hey, giving away pies this year. Actually, before I joined Denny's team, I did it myself. I actually baked them and delivered them. 40 pies the first year. Was awesome, reconnected with everybody. I had special orders. I had one lady who wanted bourbon in her pie, so we made a special pie with bourbon in it for her. Business continues through that. Eric, next slide, please. What do you think this quote means? It's not about expanding your reach, it's about expanding your niche. What's important about that? Or your niche. We always argue about how to pronounce it. Niche or niche? Niche.
It depends on which country you're from. Depends on which country you're from and what the dialect is.
We're, go
I
ahead.
would say you can either spend like 20% of your effort on 5 things, or you can spend 100% of your effort, like where you're far more effective on.
This should hopefully bring it right back to the beginning. You want to just throw a huge net and catch anybody and everybody, not know who you're going to get, not know if they're really serious or not know if you're wasting your time, not know if they're psychotic, or would you rather just have a laser focus right here on the people that already like you and do what you want to do? You know, it's Seth Godin had a quote, and let's see if I wrote it down here. I may not have. Okay, here it is. Yeah. People like us do business like this, which means you're at an event, you're at your hockey game, you're down at the beach or your golf tournament or your wine and food. People like us in this small, intimate setting do business like this, what we're doing right here and now. And I can tell you from personal experience, that's exactly how it happens. My best client has since referred to me one of his best, actually 3 of his best friends. He's gone into business with me in construction. I've never done it before. He's done it his entire life. He's all right, you're gonna trial by fire. I'm gonna yell at you every day, he does. And then we laugh at the end, we always have that conversation laughing. This relationship in the past couple of years has generated over $25 million in total sales. Just because we had a common connection. And it started with love dogs. He loves his dogs, I love my dogs. Now, how we met is a completely different story. When we get to the end here, I'll share that with you, we have enough time. So, Eric, next slide, please. So to recap, go small, focus, laser tight on what you want to accomplish. Because when you focus on who you want to be working with, that expands exponentially. So as time goes on, always say it all the time, you got your old hockey stick, all right? It grows slowly, 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 slowly until it doesn't, and then it explodes. Strategically connect. Use existing groups, they're already there. Plug yourself in. Set yourself apart. Who's been in networking groups and found that a lot of people there are just there to either try and get a quick sale or because it's their bar, they're there to have open drinks. Be intentful. You join the group because you're passionate about that. Find the people in there that have the same passion you do. Go deep. Do those small events that build deep relationships. And be consistent. If you're not consistent, you will lose them. You will lose them. Eric, one more slide. What are you taking away from tonight? Help me. I've been up here for 45 minutes, and now it's your turn. Help me. What is a takeaway that you have that you can put into play?
You don't have to go massive with extensions of what you do, just maybe say focus on a certain area and enjoy it. Wow, it's fun.
30 people. That's all it takes.
It's all about relationships, people that love you and building on those people. I was sick for about half of the year last year, and what I spend my time doing now to get back into a routine is talking to all of my past customers in my S-Line, just saying, hey, how are you?
And how they do.
And they're great.
Awesome.
So that's, but, you know.
By the way, he's eavesdropping because this is the guy calling. I'll call him. What else do we got?
Find your passion and focus on that.
Find your passion and focus on it. What would your day look like if every day you woke up and you did not your job, but you did what you love and what drives you? Would you feel better? What else we got? Wine and food. When are you gonna find a chef? Awesome! See that?
He wants to buy a house of papers.
Awesome. So now you say, hey, listen, I got this great idea. Does he have a restaurant here in town? Is he gonna open up a restaurant now? Maybe he's a private chef? Awesome. Hey, you know what? Let's do something. I love wine, you love to cook. Let's do an event where we can just kind of show off how you cook and with the, it's awesome. What else do we got? You can have one-on-one. It is allowed to have one-on-one.
So like, something that I noticed when I first started working here, like the line between like being an agent and then like line between like work and personal life is like super blurred for a lot of successful real estate agents. So it's like, I'm gonna focus on real estate from this time to this time, and then after that, I'm gonna put a hard line separation down. Like a lot of successful agents, like obviously like that was every example you should like don't do that.
So when they're doing their social events, it's truly social. And you bring up an excellent point that you haven't been to, or you need to get a refresher on time blocking and honoring your schedule. Next time it's on the calendar, go. Because when you say you're gonna be home for your kids at 6 o'clock, and you're answering the phone at 7:30, guess where you're not? You're not home with your kids. The deal will be there tomorrow morning. Last night is gone. So honoring your time block is the most important thing you can do, and Eric, you're exactly right. That's what separates the agents that are doing $1.2 million a year from those that are doing 40,000. And it is not that hard.
You're in control of your schedule. You're the one that says, I can't, I have an appointment. Yeah, your
Exactly.
appointment's at home.
That's exactly right. Put everything on your calendar. So the next time block class, you need to go, because if you don't have your calendar under control, it's going to be very difficult to implement the stuff we talked about today. Was this helpful, guys?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I know I stepped, sorry, I had to step away.
Sure.
Thank you for your flicker here back
He does an awesome job.
there. So I was at an ALC meeting for Marco Island maybe 3 weeks ago. Michael Ludwig, we went to his house, and he lives in Port of the Isles, down East Trail. And we were on his boat, and he was just taking us through the boat with canals and just showing us, educating us on that whole area. And at the same time, we obviously ran into a few of his listings that he has under contract. I think at that time, they were maybe $6 or $7 million pending. He had a couple of listings right there. But the big takeaway I had out of it, and it's kind of the same takeaway here, I mean, he truly is just having a blast living his boating lifestyle. These putters were on his boat, making millions, and it's funny because he's getting a new boat now, and he's all excited because it's an all black boat. He's gonna be able to fit more people in it, and he's just all excited about, now I can trailer it down to Cape Coral, all these places that I can take it to, and continue living his fun lifestyle he's living right now, and just expanded. When I think go small, I think like that. I mean, he went small. You might not look at it as an expensive hobby. He went small to start.
And what happened?
Now it's
Kaboom,
exploding.
right?
Now it's exploding. So I think about that. I talked to a lot of agents and it's like, man, should I door knock, expire? And I don't care what you do, is do whatever is fun for you. And remember when COVID happened, like many people had their best years 2020. And some even better 2021. Yeah, when I go back and look at 2020, I look at everybody, you know, there's a lot of people impacted negatively, jobs, loss, et cetera. Not good for a lot of folks. Yeah, for us, I mean, it's not bragging, I'm just saying, like, we were sitting on our computers, engaging with people on social media, and just going, like, we're just having fun, and we're having this big opportunity, this big life. We're able to live having fun. Whatever it is it a dog park? Is it, you know, whatever you choose to make it, cooking, wine, or however you approach it. So, I mean, it's a unique opportunity that we have, and you just gotta figure out what it is that you're natural at as far as connecting with people, and just focus on that. 'Cause I'll tell you that first year when I jumped in full-time real estate, even before I went full-time in 2016, I was like, okay, cold call and for sale owners and expires, because I felt like the industry, that's what the industry was telling me to go do. I wasn't having fun. The minute I started having fun, that's where the business grew and truly live a life by design. So,
Excellent.
I think I'm sharing with my rant.
Guys, I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Thank you very much. Hopefully taking something away that you can use to help things grow and explode in your own life. Awesome. One more thing. One more thing, he's kidding. All right. And go. Let's see. Or you're an Awesome. Thank you.